and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe in Lagos.
What a greatest to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan.
Right, this is what the show looks like tonight. Super Eagles coach Joseph Peseiro's contract expires today, and there are indications that it may just be extended. But we'll break it down on this show, how his tenure has been like since he was hired as the Super Eagles coach. We'll talk about the statistics and also everything you need to know about Joseph Peseiro. And also we'll go to Algeria, where they have a new coach, the coach that actually saw the relegation of Bordeaux in 2022. I mean, he was fired in February 2022. I'm talking about Petkovic. That's the coach that Algeria have hired to actually be in charge of their national team. And for Cameroon, yes, Rigobert Song, finally, he has left his position. And also we'll talk about MPFL, the games that were decided midweek Wednesday, and also games decided earlier today, this evening precisely, the Nigeria Premier Football League. And we'll talk about Paul Pogba, who may not just play football again, a 4-year ban. That's what he's facing. But he says he will be appealing it. Who knows what's going to happen in that one. Also, we'll go to the Olympics, touchdown in, go to France in Paris. Just touched a little bit on preparations for the Paris Games, because the Games Village is actually ready. 14,000 athletes. Yes, that's what the building will be housing. So much to talk about on the show tonight. So, Austin, we'll also talk about the Youth League. Yes, MPFL on the 17 Youth League. That will also get our attention tonight. But first, Austin, we're starting with Joseph Peseiro. His contract will expire today, or expires today. And then we're not hearing anything from the Nigerian Football Federation yet if he's going to, his contract will be extended. We remember what happened to Randall Wardrum, where he was extended after the Super Falcons played 4 games with the assistant in charge of those games. But this man right here, his contract expires today.
Jose Peseiro, what else can we say? When he came into Nigerian football, we were going through a state of recovery. The country had just failed to qualify for the World Cup. At that time also, we were just trying to, stabilize after sending Genotro away. He came, let's give it to this man, Cecilia, he came with some level of optimism. He showed that he could be a father figure. He was optimistic also. And then he said, from the first day of his presser, that he wants to win the AFCON. Can you remember? He was so confident that he could win the AFCON for Nigeria. And then they launched the Let's Do It Again campaign, and he took the Super Eagles to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. I do not understand the Nigeria Football Federation sometimes, particularly with hiring of coaches and the renewal of contracts. There are things that they do, and most times it is shrouded in secrecy. I do not understand. Everyone knows that this is the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Right after the AFCON, his contract will expire. Do you like what he has done with this team? Would you like some continuity? Is this the sort of coach that you want for the Super Eagles? You should have answered all of these questions. Let's bring it to BNS minimum. When a student wants to go sit for the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board exam, JAM, you know the university you are going to. You choose first choice. You choose second choice. You choose the courses you want to go and study in that school. I'm taking it as basic as going to a higher institution. This is hiring and keeping a coach for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You mentioned Coach Randy Wardrum, so it means it's no new business to the NFL. We always do these things. So we're saying now, that when do you want to hire a coach for the Super Eagles, or when do you want to renew this man's contract? Because there is a qualifier in March, Cecilia. There is a qualifier. There's an important game in March.
In June.
And now, this guy's contract has expired today. I was actually praying that it doesn't go to Algeria, because I know what it means for Nigeria to start looking for a new coach, or wanting to say someone should come work in an interim capacity. So let us call on the Nigeria Football Federation tonight. If you're comfortable with the performance of Jose Peseiro from the time he joined the Super Eagles as coach till today, renew the contract. If you are not comfortable with his performance, then let him go and start telling us who will be in charge. Start looking. No, they can't start looking. Now it's late. Tell us who will be in charge of the Super Eagles and let's know what we are doing with our football, Cecilia.
You know, the good thing about the whole thing is the fact that you have this man right here, Joseph Peseiro, has some assistants. Finidi George actually happens to be one of his assistants. Just maybe they're looking at if the contract is dragging for long, why the Super Eagles are playing their friendlies and build up to the World Cup qualifiers in June. Well, he might just be the one in charge. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. But Rotimi Akindele, Beat FM, sports anchor at OAP, he's right here in the studio. Rotimi, Happy New Year.
Wish you the same. Good evening. That's all I want to tell you.
Okay. Right, a quick one. I mean, we were talking about Joseph Peseiro. His contract expires today, and we're still waiting to hear confirmation from Nigerian Football Federation. We've seen some newspapers actually reporting that his contract has been extended. But hey, it's not official yet. Nothing coming from Nigerian Football Federation. But in all of this, do you think, I mean, we're wasting time in renewing or getting another one, or maybe they already have plans, they're just waiting to release the news to everyone?
Oh, well, I mean, some factors would probably determine if Joseph Peseiro is going to continue as Super Eagles manager, especially the funding aspect.
Okay.
Which is not solely...
But he took a pay cut.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so even taking a pay cut, it's still not solely dependent on the NFF.
Okay.
It's the ministry or the federal government that foots that bill. So
they've got money.
The federal government or via the sports ministry will have to assure the NFF, even if you're going to extend his contract, don't worry, we can take care of his bills. If you're not getting such assurances from the sports ministry, then the NFF does not have the power to say, okay, you know what, we want to terminate we're not going to extend your contract, we want to go and shop for a new coach and all of that. So there's still some factors in there that has to be cleared before we know if Jose Peseiro's contract will be extended or if we have to probably do an interim till we're able to, you know, give some assurances that, okay, we can appoint Cecilia, for instance, and then we can pay our bills as and when due. But until we get those assurances, I don't think the NFF will quickly come out like some reports are going around that Joseph Peseiro has gone on a break. Some says the NFF has offered him a new contract and all that. So till we hear something official, I don't think we should... I think we should just wait. There's really nothing happening until maybe June.
Yes. Yeah.
The ones in March is a window. We are not even sure yet if we're going to play friendlies.
USA. We're supposed to play US.
We're supposed to play in US against Argentina. It looks like it's cancelled. Okay. We might just, you know, play another game, just take advantage of the window. So maybe nothing too serious. An interim can be in charge of that. But at least before June, I'm quite sure the NFF will sort either whether Joseph Peseiro will continue or if we're going to be having a new manager.
All right, you talk about some factors that will determine if his contract will be renewed. Let's take a look at those factors right now, especially starting at the Nations Cup. His performance, where he had 7 games, he was in charge of 7 matches, and he won 5, drawing 1 and losing 1, and the one he lost happens to be the one in the final. Now let's flip over, build up to the Nations Cup, some of the friendly games that he played. Now, in January 8th, 2024. That was before the Nations Cup, a week before the Nations Cup against Guinea. It was 2-0. That was a friendly match. You also have October 16, 2023 against Mozambique, Nigeria 3, Mozambique 2, and October 13, 2023 to Saudi Arabia 2, Nigeria 2. That's the build-up to the Africa Cup of Nations friendly, the games he was in charge. Now, let's take a look at overall. I mean, his performance overall for Nigeria. Okay, now, the international friendlies, the World Cup qualifiers continues. You have Zimbabwe and Nigeria. That was the 1-1 draw that, you know, people were not anticipating, thinking Nigeria will perform at the Nations Cup after this performance. And, of course, against Lesotho, right here in Nigeria, in Uyo, it was also a draw. And overall, how many games has he been in charge? He's been in charge of 22 games overall, 11 wins, 4 draws, and 7 losses. Is this a pass mark or not? So these factors will determine if his contract will be renewed or not. But as Rotimi Akindele said, fingers crossed, we still have some time in June. Maybe the NFF are trying to tidy up everything, look elsewhere and see how much they can get to see if they can afford another coach or let Joseph Peseiro continue based on these factors and on the statistics. So we'll leave it right here, right?
Well, I think we should. If you look at this performance, it's just about 50%. You played 22 games, you won 11, that's just half. The games you lost, probably 7. It's way too much for a Nigerian side since you took over. That was after we missed out of qualifying for the World Cup in 2022. So you look at that based on the Nigerian national team. This is poor by our standards, especially if we're playing on the continent. We're not even playing, maybe if you had lost 3 games at the World Cup, you could forgive and all that. But so the performances were not so convincing, even up until the start of the AFCON. Remember, after the first game, Equatorial Guinea, there were a lot of, hey, what are we doing? Until he decided to change his tactics with the team and then went all the way to the final. So maybe based on that, probably not so convincing, but I think he was able to meet the target he was given at the Nations Cup, get to the semi-final. He surpassed it, got to the final, couldn't win it, sadly. I think that might be enough to want him to continue, but like I said, those factors that needs...
those factors, Joe, what do you think? Continue?
I think based on this and based on what we saw, you're as good as your last game. Or let me say you're as good as your last outing. The performance at the Nations Cup wasn't bad. It was over average.
It was fair.
It was over average. I mean, it was good. It gave a lot of Nigerians some bit of joy, some confidence about the Super Eagles again. Yes, we didn't go on to win it. That in itself might say, okay, we can say, okay, let's keep Jose Peseiro. But then again, like I said, the other factors, the fundings, we don't want, okay, continue, and then 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, saying, oh, he's been hold for 6 months, his backroom staff, and all of that.
In summary, should he continue funding or performance-wise?
Interestingly, so I like the chemistry I saw in Côte d'Ivoire. I think he should continue.
Okay, that's it. Austin, you were smiling when Rotimi was doing the analysis. Why were you smiling?
I had to smile, because Rotimi was giving me some vibes when it was, yes, I agree with him, not so convincing, but I was waiting for Rotimi to land, and I think he landed so well. I was thinking he was going to crash land, but he landed so well, by saying he likes what he saw in Côte d'Ivoire, because sometimes we only concentrate on the winning because we are too result-oriented with football. We were forgetting that the Super Eagles were in tatters. There was no team spirit, no bonding. People just come out there and pretend like they liked what was going on to just come to play for Nigeria. What I liked about Jose Peseiro is he became a father the moment he got on the job. He played the father figure role so well, brought the players together, was always talking to the public and telling us those things that we didn't want to hear. Rotimi, for instance, our football was coming through a very bad brain surgery. That sort of brain surgery that they say, where they will shake you, you will start asking, where am I? Because we didn't know where we were going with our football. So he came, and if you check, from when he came and all of those results Cecilia highlighted from the friendlies, he was terrible. That showed that brain surgery was really affecting our team. We didn't have a style. Now we have a style, but people feel that it is not the kind of style that they want. I said, give me that style and go to the World Cup and reach the final. Let me see who start asking what kind of football did you play to get to the final. Because that's what the fans want. They want results. When was the last time we made it to the final? When was the last time the government gave football the sort of attention that we saw in Côte d'Ivoire? That's what this man has come to build. That's what we should sustain. Because we know our people. They will just, let's just do it. Rotimi, you know them. Let's just do it. They don't want to do it properly. They don't want to do it the right way. They don't want to do it the way that we will think about sustainability. So now that we've got them talking, now that we know that the fans are happy again, we must consolidate on it. And that's why if you put me as head of the NFF Technical Committee, I'll say work with Peseiro to maybe we qualify for the World Cup. And if we're comfortable at that time, I still believe that this team, this same tactics everyone seems to be criticizing now, if they keep playing it together, they will get better with it. We created the most chances at the AFCON during the group stage. Everybody, we played tight. We were too deep. How come we created the most chances? with that sort of tight formation. It just tells you that football these days can be funny. So that means there's something in it. On my count, Osimhen missed 5 clear chances at the AFCON that if he had buried, he would have gotten 5 goals plus 1 is scored 6, minus the 2 that VAR cancelled. And people are questioning this formation. Ola, missed. Zaidu, regular customer, 3 clear chances. What's his name? Ademola Lookman, missed chances. These same tactics that people are criticizing. Keep the man, be sure of what you want from him, give him his objectives, and let's watch him from there.
All right. We'll end it there. Let's watch it from there. Now, the good thing is, yes, they created chances, but those players actually scoring right now. Alex Iwobi is fantastic for Fulham. Yeah, he was actually put somewhere.
So I don't bring club football to national team.
You want us to go there?
Victor Osimhen, I mean, he's a hat-trick just last night. Okay, we'll end it there. Because when you're asking a player whose job is to actually score goals to defend, it's hard for him to run, and he becomes a workaholic. That's what happened to those players at the Nations Cup. We'll rest it there and see if NFF would renew his contract or not, and also have the money to pay him. That is what is important. Okay, let's talk about the countries who are having coaches right now. Algeria. Now, Rotimi, I mean, Vladimir Petkovic has been without a job since February 2022. Yeah, when he got relegated, I mean, that's the coach right now that Algeria has gone to pick, Sakim Bamadi. Yes, Bamadi has had a very bad run at the last 2 Nations Cup. He has lost about 6 games. But if you take a look at his statistics, 64 matches, 41 victories, 17 draws, and losing 6.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, he's been asked to go. They didn't qualify for the World Cup, and the 2 Nations Cup back-to-back, crashing out at the group stage. And
I think that was what broke the camel's back, really. Belmadi was an ex-international, former player, rather. Was loved by the people. Took them all the way in 2019, defeated Nigeria in the semi-finals, went on to win the final in Egypt, won the Nations Cup. And then they felt probably they could build from there, qualify for the World Cup after winning the Nations Cup and all of that. But it didn't happen. Maybe COVID, probably that was a factor. And then trying to pick up from there. The Nations Cup in Cameroon didn't work out. At all. They still felt, we love you. The numbers were good. I mean, if you play 64 matches, and you win 41 games. I can't say you failed. Yeah. But then
and only just 6 losses.
Exactly. And then the Nations Cup again, the next one, that's just, the recently concluded one in Ivory Coast, was maybe like a second chance. A second chance. Okay, you know what? We know what happened. We're all coming out from football break and all that in Cameroon. Now let's do this one in Côte d'Ivoire. But it still didn't happen. It still didn't work out. And I think let's just stem the tide. That's me talking like an Algerian now. You've done pretty well. We don't hate you, but I think this team has to be steered by another man. And then they went for an experienced man in Vladimir Petkovic, who, by the way, is based in France. He won't. What's the word now? He won't have any issues communicating in French because the
it's
players,
just a cross-border.
Exactly, just cross-border and all of that. So it's pretty easy. I think it's fair that they settled for that man, and Jose is Portuguese. I don't think his French is good. That's just me thinking. I think that might be one of
the reasons why they
didn't go for Peseiro per se. Yeah. Yes, they liked his run at the Nations Cup, but it might not be enough. Like I said, chemistry matters a lot, bonding matters a lot, and they just went for someone who will be respected. And don't forget, most of their players are based in France. Yeah. So it's good for the Algerians. Let's see where they can now pick up from. Yeah. They've got the World Cup qualifiers as well. They've got the 2025 AFCON qualifiers starting very soon. Let's see if they can get in as well.
Yeah, I mean, Austin, they started very well at the World Cup qualifying Group G, 2 wins in 2 matches. And if you check this friendly matches in March, they will be playing Bolivia and South Africa in March. And of course, Guinea and Uganda in June as part of the World Cup qualifiers. Asking Abamadi to actually go. He started the World Cup qualifiers so well, but then bringing a 60-year-old Swiss man to take over from him.
I think they believe in the system that they've built with Abamadi. Very, very important. That's what we always talk about. Build systems, put structures in place. It will become so easy for someone to come in and to look like plug and play. They wanted to keep the man that they know. But then again, statistics don't do it alone. They want results. They want to show something. You can't go to the AFCON as Algeria back to back and you can't get beyond the group stage with the investment the government is putting into football, with the results that they think you're getting going to the competition. That's why at the end of the day, Cecilia, it's not the run that matters. It's the finish. That's what we have turned football to be. And now Algeria, they've looked at it and said, look, we'll just keep going to tournaments and we're not doing much. And that region, that northern region, it's regional competition amongst themselves.
Yeah.
That's why they're getting better.
Okay.
So Algeria will look at Morocco. I said, we're doing almost exact things that Morocco seems to be doing. We're doing what Egypt is doing. Why are we not getting this same sort of result? But now, with this last AFCON, they have all come together to say that when they go to West Africa, because of our infrastructure, they don't get to play the sort of football. You see where they have taken it to, which we always say, because their own level of football has got to a particular stage. So with Petkovic, I think that they will build on the results that Bamadi has put in place, particularly with the right structures and systems that they have, and they will hope to qualify for the World Cup and stabilize a team that will be result-oriented in competition mode. Because this is not league football they are playing. It's national team football where you go to competition, and if you win 6 games, you're in the final. And that's what Peseiro did for us. Cecilia, let's go on a quick break. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. When we come back, Rigobert Song, finally the fight with the FA is over because he has left his position as coach of Cameroon. We'll tell you more. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back. Sports Tonight on your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. We're taking a look at what's going on in our world of sports, particularly football in Africa. Cecilia, before we get into the Rigobert Song discussion, let me just ask Rotimi this question. Rotimi, you have a chance to pick one of the 2 resumes. Which will you pick? Bamadi's resume or Peseiro's resume? If you're to go look for a job as a coach, which one are you going to take?
Okay, so it's very straight. I'll pick Belmadi.
Look at you, Rotimi. Look at you. You stuttered. Come on, Rotimi. You're national television.
And I got it. He's played more games.
He's played more games.
He's played more games.
He's won a trophy, so you can't beat that.
I agree, but I'm telling you, we live in a world where people only remember the things you did last. You know what I'm saying in football, even in life generally, as good as your last results.
But you said resume.
People will remember you now, and they will be like, okay, I get what you mean. Go with Belmadi. It's okay. Best wishes.
CV, Austin. Rigobert Song, yes, that's the guy we're talking about next. I mean, the fight, as you mentioned, is finally over. He's leaving his position as head coach of the Cameroonian national team because, according to the FA, I mean, the objective has not been met. I remember, there was a letter that was dated February 28th, that was, when they released that letter that, okay, he will have to non-renew of his contract, and so he will have to leave. Okay.
So the story is pretty confusing. Did he walk out? Did he resign, or he was sacked? That wasn't made clear. There are reports that says Rigobert Song has left the team. It didn't say the FA has sacked him.
They said the contract was not renewed. So what happens?
Well, whichever term they use or whatever term they're comfortable with in using, rather.
They said it was not feasible.
Song is out.
They are the ones providing the fund. It's not feasible to continue his role as manager and head coach of the Indomitable Lions.
Don't forget, Cici, there's a lot of issues with Cameroon FA. So Song wasn't the only one that was asked to leave. All the assistants, all the backroom staff. In fact, according to reports, every coach in Cameroon has been asked to leave. Like all the staff, including ad hoc staff. That's the
backroom staff, everything has been cleared.
And even ad hoc staff. FA says everybody should go. So it looks like
Samuel Eto'o should also leave.
He can't sack himself, except something else happens. But that's the story from Cameroon. Loads of crises in there. but let's just keep our fingers crossed and see how they can sort it before the next international window or before the World Cup qualifiers resume.
They left at the round of 16, Austin. I mean, I thought Cameroonians, they expected something better from Song this time around. But at the end of the day, this man right here just couldn't, you know, well, he couldn't take them to the promised land, so to speak.
The guy was fighting every day on the job. I'm telling you, I was in Cameroon at the last AFCON. I remember that third place match against Burkina Faso, how we didn't even want to come out for the second half of the game. This Cameroonian FA, not just Cameroonian FA, the FAs in Nigeria, in Africa, West Africa to be precise. I don't understand. See Ghana, see Cameroon, see Nigeria. Just allow coaches do their job. You know, you have appointed them. Look at what some of the media seem to be reporting. France 24, Rigobert Song, no longer Cameroon boss, says a two. The African News, Rigobert Song steps down as Cameroon national team coach. The Athletic, Cameroon parts ways with manager Rigobert Song. So it tells you from these headlines that it was just troubled waters that Song was swimming in all the days of his life as coach of the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. At some point, players would talk to him anyhow. This is a legend of African football, not just Cameroon football, African football. And it was disrespected a lot of times. Even Manchester United goalkeeper Onana at some point was in a very bad place with a coach. And a two didn't help matters also, not just a two and the Cameroonian effort board. So it needs to go outside. People don't understand. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. They were not fantastic at the last AFCON, but Rigobert Song did what he could do to ensure that at home they got on the podium and had medals on their neck. At this AFCON, they could do the little that they could do with the team that they had due to injury and the likes. Don't forget again, the FA, they were part of the reason why they didn't have Choupo-Moting in the squad. But people were quick to point out to Rigobert Song. So it's all politics, you know. I think we need to learn how to get it right in Africa in terms of managing coaches and showing them respect. So, yeah, it's out of the way now. Whoever they bring, if they don't change their mindset, that coach will also struggle with Cameroon. Let's see. Everyone wants to qualify for the World Cup. You need to put your house in order. Otherwise, your problems will remain your problems.
It's a big one. We'll see what's going to happen after now. They'll have to start looking for a coach. They still have time for the World Cup qualifiers starting in June. All right, let's go to the Nigeria Premier Football League match day 22. It's getting our attention right now. We'll start off with the games that were decided on Wednesday. Sporting Lagos and Akwa United ended in favor, of course, of Sporting Lagos winning 2-1. We'll dissect that game much later. Katsina and Kano Pillars. Yes, Kano Pillars tried to get back to this, so it just wasn't to be. And this is the biggest away win this season. And Plateau United responsible for that, beating Heartland by 5-1. Emmanuel scoring a brace in that one. Let's take a look at other games that happened on Wednesday. Rangers and Remo Stars. Rangers are winning that. Remo Stars have now dropped to 5th on the log. Bayelsa and Doma United ended in favor of Bayelsa and Sunshine Stars and Lobby Stars. Sunshine winning at home against Lobby Stars, who were topping the table. That's why they've dropped out of that top position they've maintained for a very, very long time. Let's take a look at the games that were decided today. Enyimba and Gombe United. Enyimba winning 4-0. Abia Warriors and Akwa United by longer. Of course, Ben Insurance. It was Tai Montala that broke their hearts. 93rd minute, 5 minutes into added time. 3 minutes into that added time, that's when that goal was scored. Of course, Insurance, well, it was a draw at home. And of course, away, it was a loss for them. They're facing Plateau United next, who scored 5 goals away from home against Heartland, who, like, they're deemed to be relegated this season. More like it's rooting them to the bottom of the table. Rotimi, which gets you talking here? Let's start off with the games on Wednesday. Sporting Lagos, I mean, that's got everyone's attention. Sporting Lagos, I mean, they've won 3 games at home now on the bounce. I mean, they went away to lose to Gombe United, but the games they played against Aqua, against Benda Insurance, they've won those games right here in Lagos. And that's the game decided that was played yesterday. I mean, Aqua United scored first. But then somehow, well, what's his name again?
Well, Aqua United needed to respond, especially after losing at home to Bayelsa United. And then Sporting Lagos had just come back from a tough trip to Gombe United, where they, to Gombe, where they lost anyway. And then they had to come back, you know, during the week, just few days after the Gombe trip, maybe like a day or 1 day or 2 days, to play a big side like Aqua United, who have been having it very, very rough so far this season.
Very, very
and interestingly, Sporting Lagos are headed back to Gombe to play Doma United. So I don't know how the scheduling was done, but that's their story. But then again, it was a game that, like you said, Sporting Lagos had dropped a whole lot of points at home before now. And for them to survive this league, you've got to start winning. For any team, rather, you've got to start winning your own games. And that was what Sporting Lagos started doing in the last 3 games. Rivers United first, Bendel Insurance, and now a big side like Aqua United. Aqua United had held on to that lead till about the 83rd minute before they got that equalizer via free kick, I must say.
I mean, that free kick, that's the free kick right here.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Got the old team back on track. Okay, you know what? Maybe we can do it. At least we can salvage. At first it was let's salvage a draw. And then that last minute,
90th minute,
heartbreaker for Aqua United. I think I feel more sad for Aqua United than I'm excited. Sporting Lagos have won 3 home games. Brilliant stuff. Hopefully, if they continue in this form, then we can survive and stay in the league for another season at least.
I love that.
By we, I said, I mean Lagos. Exactly. So I'm just saying.
I mean, just look at what this actually means to the fans right there at the stadium. Now, this one, I don't know what that defender was thinking, headed the ball just right on the path of Tochukwu Ude. At 90th minute, he struck again, and the stadium just went wild.
I mean, it was a beautiful sight. That much I can tell you. It was really good to see that. It was a big game, so it really gave the fans that big feel as well, the positive vibe that this is our league, this is our own, this is our home. And that was what Sporting Lagos did. So good job, Sporting Lagos. That win actually propelled them to 13th after Wednesday game. I'm sure it might have changed now. I mean, due to results, still 13, exactly. So
27 points.
So that means the results from today didn't really alter their position. So it's really good for Sporting Lagos on Wednesday that they were able to defeat Aqua United.
Austin, Aqua United's position happens to be 18th on the log. 22 games, 21 points, 5 wins this season, and the losses piling up. How many now? I think I lost count at the point. 11. 11 games they've lost this season. Bayelsa went to Uyo to beat Aqua United at home, and they came to Lagos thinking they were going to get something out of the game. But Tochukwu Ude says, well, all wrong. Scored that brace, and then another defeat again, back-to-back for Aqua United. Can they survive this season?
Let's celebrate Tochukwu Ude for that brilliant goal. You know, the presence of mind he had when he won the ball, and then to go all the way at that particular time of the game, you know, shows that he was business oriented. That this is one chance. This is my 8-mile moment, and I must make good use of this ball. Otherwise, this game is going to end 1-1. And that's when you play Aqua United now, maybe Heartland, and to an extent Bayelsa United, they are donating points. So just take your points, you know, from them. Either you play a draw in Uyo or you beat them there and you beat them again when they travel. It's quite sad. The way you start is really, really important. Most importantly, how you finish too. Fatah Amora and his team, when they started, I don't understand the mission. I don't understand the objective that the club gave to the coach. I thought they were clueless at the start of the season. Aqua United is known for that cluelessness in the last 5 seasons when they start so badly. But somehow they pick up. But this season, they just don't know what they're doing, you know, and that's why they are where they are. But that's it with Aqua United. Maybe they want to get relegated and then start all over again and then come back. This is a team that won the league title 3 seasons ago, and now they're playing like they are some small team that just gained promotion into the Nigeria Premier Football League. It's quite disappointing. But let's celebrate this team tonight on the show. Cecilia, were you with me on the show when I told you, let's watch Plateau United closely? I said, watch Plateau United closely. Don't take your eyes. they went away to win 5-1. 5-1. Look at them on the league table. The Peace Boys, they don't talk too much, but they're a very decent side. At home, they are formidable. When they travel, when they are not losing that game, they are picking very crucial points on the road.
Okay.
And look at where they came from. When I told you, let's watch them closely, they were 7th. I say if they win that game, they will climb into the top 4. Today, I think they're 2nd on the log. I'm telling everybody that cares to listen that they are just the team to beat this season.
Obviously, they are 3rd on the log, and Enyimba are topping the league for the first time this season. Lobby Stars has dropped to 2nd. Enyimba is topping based on goal difference because they have the same number of, they play the same number of games, 22-22. Enyimba on 39, Lobby on 39, and then the goal difference of 7 and 5 for Lobby Stars. So Plateau United are 3rd on the log on 38 points. Now that is close. We have to watch out for this one. I mean, this is, I mean, Enyimba Forney bashing of Gombe just took them right there to the top. They needed the goals, and Mboma, trust him, when he's on fire, he's got a brace for them this evening.
I mean, match day 22, you got about 16 games left. You don't want Enyimba top in the league at this time.
They're going to hold on to it. Trust me.
You don't want, I mean, apart from Finidi George, who's doing a brilliant job, by the way, with Enyimba, despite his shaky start. Enyimba is that household name that everybody knows. Once you give them a taste of, hey, you can stay on top.
This is it.
This is just it.
They
can grab it and just hold on to it. So you don't want to do that at this point. But now that they found form, I mean, good job by Finidi's assistant as well. The one we call Yema, you know, another solid coach. So looks like everything is working good for Enyimba now, and they might just go all the way if, especially if other results go their way. They know what they have to do now: win all our home games, and then see what we can get away from home. But you don't want Enyimba to be at the top at this stage of the season.
Yeah, especially what they did in Benin was goalless. They will go away from home somehow, no matter what, try and get a point, and then come home and beat teams silly. And that's what they did to Gombe United. All right, let's take a look at the Youth League. Just result decided today: Rivers United and Enugu Rangers. I mean, this is funny. Rivers United beating Enugu Rangers by 5-2, and Plateau United and Remo Stars ended goalless. That's for the Nigerian Youth League. And now, quickly, we'll get our attention to Glasgow, the World Indoor Championship starting, you know, in March. We have some Nigerians that are taking part in that championships. Let's just run through the names of the athletes participating at the World Indoor Championship in Glasgow. Ese Brume, she is the only lady there. She's doing a usual long jump. And of course, for the men, you have Chukwuebuka Enekweche, short put. Dubem Wanchuku is on 400 meters and 4x400 meters. Edusa Ibadin, 800 meters and also 4x400 meters. Sikri Adeyemi, 4x400 meters. And Chide Okeze, 4x400 meters. So these are the Nigerians that will be at the World Indoor Championship. Note to me quickly, let me come to you on this one. I mean, usually when we're having competitions like this, you have so many names, championships like this. But hey, I mean, these athletes, each of them, we saw when they were preparing and everything. We saw when, you know, Edusa, when he finally got, you know, that, when he got the mark, qualified to participate, he was celebrating because this is going to be his first, you know, World Championships, World Indoor Championships that he will be taking part in, 800 meters and 4x400 meters.
I mean, it's pretty good for an athlete like Edose, good for a few of them as well. But like you said, I think at this point, just because of the array of events you have, athletes now have to pick what works, for them. I mean, if you have planned as a professional to attend 20 meets in a year, including major championships, if this is not included, you probably don't want to go. And then you've got to study your body, a whole lot of things, travel and all of that. If you don't have a sponsor, it could affect your plans as well. So I feel having about 6 Nigerians going to the World Indoors is pretty good. Interestingly, we'll be having more Nigerians going to the All Africa Games. So it's all about weighing your options and see what works for you. If you've not been participating in indoor championships all season, you don't want to be there now because you probably go just mess yourself up. So for the athletes that had, you know, started the indoor season, I think it's fair. The few ones we have to go participate, I mean, do...
Tobiloba Amusa has done some indoors this season, but she's not here.
Exactly. So, like I said, in Toby's case, Toby has said, "Oh, I'll be in Accra for the All Africa Games."
Yeah.
I mean, from what we heard, so it's a case of maybe I'll just choose.
But if so,
it could be injuries.
The list that was released by AFN, I mean, Tobiloba Amusa's name is not there on those athletes going to Accra.
And so the ones,
maybe they're not,
the ones they released was, I think, locals.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. They are no foreign base there.
Exactly.
So they're waiting. They're not sure.
They're not sure as well. So you have to do a lot of asking, confirm, oh, will you be available and all that. So I think it's just about athletes deciding, or like I said,
what works
sponsorship factor again, or injuries might just be determinant.
Tickets are not smiling, is it?
Exactly.
Austin, you want to chip in on this one before we go to Paul Pogba, banned for 4 years. When he returns, he'll be 34.
No, I think Rotimi has done a good job with the indoor, and Nigerians, representing us at that one. We just wants to monitor them and see, what good can come out of that one in terms of moving their careers forward and representing the country. Let's talk about Paul Pogba, who has described that verdict that came out today as sad and disappointing. I feel for Paul Pogba. Why? Because we all saw him grow. And at your prime, he's 30. You would wonder, why is this happening to him now? He has said that he will wait for the legal proceedings to be over and then we will hear the full story. So I feel like there is something about all of this drama that we don't know. So let's wait. He has said he's going to appeal it, that he will not deliberately, take enhancement, or cheat his fellow athletes. I think he's a top professional. But you never say never. Let's let this case go to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Let's wait for their verdict. And after that, Paul Pogba should tell us this full story that he has said is behind all of these shenanigans that we're seeing. But it's pretty painful. That doping test was done August the 20th last year, Cecilia. It was Juve's first game of the season. So maybe somebody somewhere, knew something was going on. I said, let's test the guy. I don't even think he played that match. So it was picked randomly.
Was an unused substitute. He was on the bench.
And here we are now. So I feel for Pogba. And sincerely, I feel for him because no athlete wants this at the stage of their career, particularly with footballers. We hear these things often with our track and field athletes, not footballers. But let's see what's going to come out of the Court of Arbitration for Sports.
Rotimi, a quick one on this one. I mean, according to his representative, they say it was, the food he took in the US that was prescribed by his doctor. That was how the whole thing started. And it could have been reduced to 2 years if, it was proven that, yes, he wasn't at fault or it was an out-of-competition test. But hey, it wasn't out-of-competition test. It was during the league game. I mean,
it's pretty sad for a player like Paul Pogba. Last game for Juventus was sometime in September, I think September 3rd, 2023. Played about 28 minutes in that one, and then now we have to probably wait for another 4 years. I'm hoping there's an appeal window somewhere where maybe it could be reviewed and then we can cut down your ban, because for a player like Paul Pogba, it's looking like he's a modern day scapegoat. That's the way I so I mean, and it's also a big lesson for all upcoming prime players as well, especially footballers. Don't think bans are only restricted to track and field stars or tennis stars. If you do not do the right things or take the right steps, this sort of thing can happen to you. So for Paul Pogba, with his story, with the way, like Austin mentioned, we all watched him grow. And now this sort of story, I don't think is good. I hope he can come out of this, maybe survive it somewhat. But I'm also hoping, this is me just talking now, that there's an appeal window somewhere that will cut down this ban, because this is not good in any way.
All right. Okay, before we go, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, I mean, he was at the Olympic Village today. It's been inaugurated. 14,000 athletes, will be right there at the Olympics. And 9,000 during the Paralympics, 14,000 during the Olympics. And, of course, a unit of about 2,800 apartments. That's what it is. And the budget was less than 4 billion euros. So, the Olympics, we're ready. It's going to be in August. just wrap this up for us. Austin, you got to go.
I know when you start seeing this inauguration, you start feeling the fever that the Olympic Games, is upon us. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin O'Connor, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, the FA Cup here. Okay, Manchester United and Liverpool. I'm waiting for that. It's going to be kids or maybe men that will be playing in that quarterfinal.
United don't have kids, don't I?
Now, I'm talking about Liverpool right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Amogbe. Have a good night's rest.